please be seated. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Joseph Walters, and I'm the Director of the Virginia Department of Corrections. It is my pleasure to welcome you here today to this very special event. This afternoon, we have the privilege of being joined by Governor Abigail Spanberger, the 75th Governor of the great Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you, Governor Spanberger, for being here today, and certainly also by Secretary Meador, Virginia's Secretary of Public Safety and Homeland Security. It is an honor to have you with us, and I'm so pleased on behalf of our entire corrections team to welcome you here to our headquarters. Thank you for being here today. Importantly, Governor Spanberger, this room is filled with approximately 100 corrections professionals from facilities and offices across our agency. They serve as representatives of our large and our diverse workforce. They represent correctional officers, healthcare staff, teachers, counselors, reentry specialists, probation officers, and a multitude of other professions and disciplines. They work tirelessly every day to make a difference, to produce positive public safety outcomes, and most importantly, to keep Virginia communities safe. It's been a little more than 5 months since Governor Spanberger appointed me to serve as Director of the Department of Corrections. It is an honor to work collaboratively with the correctional professionals all across the Commonwealth, particularly serving as your director. Since January, I am proud to report that this team has hit the ground running, working hard to improve public safety for everyone. We have taken a new approach, and it is working. We have focused on creating a people-first culture, reaffirming our shared commitment to important things, to public safety, professionalism, strengthening accountability, and enhancing public trust. As I travel across Virginia, visiting facilities and offices and other work locations throughout the agency, I always remind corrections staff that what we do matters. The work we do is important. And as you can see clearly today, the importance of that work is both recognized and appreciated. Again, welcome to the Virginia Department of Corrections headquarters, and thank you for joining us. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Virginia's Secretary of Public Safety and Homeland Security, Stanley Meador. Secretary Meador.
Well, good afternoon. When I look across my nearly 30 years in public safety, there's one consistent theme I've seen among public safety professionals. Whether a police officer, a firefighter, correctional officer, probation officer, our public safety professionals understand the importance of what it means to show up and get the job done. But public safety is not just about showing up. It's also about connection. Connection with our employees, our teams, and most importantly, the communities we serve. When we strengthen those connections, we strengthen our mission. 5 months into Governor Spanberger's administration, I am proud to see our Virginia DOC team demonstrate what strong, intentional leadership and connection looks like. With the support of the employees here today and the many throughout the Commonwealth, they have leaned into engagement, asked hard questions, and most importantly, made space to listen. Those actions, their actions, matter. They build trust, address real issues, and they help us make changes that reflect the needs of our staff, the people in our care, and those in the community who support them. As we continue to grow in this direction, we're focused on creating ways for dialogue to be ongoing, not something that happens once, but something that becomes part of how we operate. Engagement isn't an event, it's practice. It's how we make sure our work reflects the realities happening on the ground and how we build the kind of organization that people trust. In a moment, you'll hear about the concrete reforms underway and the broader strategy guiding this work. I want to personally thank all those throughout the Virginia DOC for what they do each day and for their support in helping us make forward progress. I also want to take a moment to personally thank those community members who have displayed a willingness to engage in productive conversations that have provided invaluable input and candid advice on how we can better serve. Throughout our efforts, we are fortunate to have a governor who understands the importance of public safety, accountability, and partnerships, especially with the communities we serve. With that, I am proud to introduce the 75th Governor of the Commonwealth, Governor Abigail Spanberger.
Good afternoon, everyone. Secretary Metter, thank you. Director Walters, thank you. And thank you especially to the Virginia Department of Corrections employees who are here with us today. When I took office back in January, I promised the people of our Commonwealth transparency and accountability from our public safety agencies, and I am here today to continue delivering on that promise. The Virginia Department of Corrections has a commitment to protect the people of Virginia through safe, lawful, and professional correctional operations that promote long-term and lasting public safety. And since the beginning of my administration, we had focused on strategic reforms that make our facilities safer, strengthen trust with the community, and reinforce our commitment to accountability, professionalism, and transparency, as I called for in Executive Order 12. And I'll start by saying that when I came into office, I got an early window into some of the challenges that exist within our correctional system, some of the things that were wrong inside our correctional system. Not wrong, to be very clear, because of the dedicated Department of Corrections employees who work tirelessly every single day, but systems that weren't working, things that were systemically causing challenges, problems that had accumulated over many years across administrations, problems that nobody had really been required to confront, and frankly, problems that so many of you in the room were able to work around but needed leadership to address. There were families being told that they couldn't get access to their loved ones, and nobody really ever asked why. There were advocacy groups that had concerns that hadn't been heard at the highest levels of this agency. There were practices in place that didn't reflect modern standards. And we have been working to confront and address these challenges. And not necessarily, though there's press here today, not necessarily because that makes front page news, but because it is the right thing to do for everyone in the room and certainly for those who are incarcerated across our Commonwealth. The rule of law, which I believe in deeply, is not purely a punitive one. It belongs to everyone, those who rightfully seek justice and those who are held accountable for crimes that they are convicted of. And in the end, all of us should want people to be given the opportunity to better themselves and rise above their circumstances. And it should go without saying that this needs to be done so with accountability, dignity, and the genuine possibility of redemption at the core. The people in Virginia's prisons are not forgotten on our watch, and this is a conscious choice by this administration. And I am proud of the results that we have all made together. And let me again thank the Department of Corrections employees in the room who have implemented so many of these important reforms and changes. Firstly, we've appointed a full leadership team aligned with this commitment to reforms, including, for the first time in Virginia DOC history, a director, chief deputy director, and senior policy advisor as appointed positions. They've established a new code of ethics. We've created an Office of Professional Standards with a new deputy director specifically charged with upholding the highest standards and holding all employees, including senior leaders, accountable. We created and mandated a new use of force training that prioritizes de-escalation, safer practices, and rendering aid. And we ended the use of 5-point harnesses, a practice that does not align with modern standards for individuals experiencing mental health crises. And the data clearly indicate that these programs and these changes are working. From January through May of this year, compared to the same period of time last year, serious inmate on staff assaults decreased by 56%. Use of force across all DOC facilities decreased by 39%. Full lockdowns decreased by 27%. Confirmed overdoses decreased by 47%. The number of individuals in restorative housing units decreased by 20%. These are not small numbers. They are transformational numbers, and they happened while Virginia Department of Corrections has been operating with a 21% vacancy rate. That means the employees in this room and across our Commonwealth delivered these results under genuinely difficult conditions, day in and day out. And I thank you for that work. To every Department of Corrections employee, those in the room and those listening to these words after the fact, your work is improving lives. It is strengthening public safety and earning the trust of communities across Virginia. What you do matters, and I am grateful for it. Virginia also continues to have the lowest recidivism rate in the nation, 18.8%, a number that reflects years of work by Department of Corrections employees, and it is something that our Commonwealth should be proud of. And the second part of what we've done is about trust between this agency and the communities it serves. For the first time in DOC history, Secretary Metter and the full leadership team sat down in person with 13 separate advocacy groups right here at headquarters. They listened to their perspectives and their stories, and for many, it was the first time they had ever been invited into DOC headquarters. And from there, they took tangible action, addressing approximately 85% of the concerns raised, including things as straightforward as extending visitation hours and ensuring consistent practices across all facilities. Now, that last part sounds simple, but it's simple to the families who were stuck trying to navigate a system they didn't understand or a system that created hurdles, who'd been told different things at different facilities for years. That change matters. And the fact that nobody had made these changes before or met with these advocacy groups before tells you something about how long these communities have been waiting to be heard. And community partners have said, many of them for the very first time, that they feel that they have a real partner in DOC leadership. And for that, I thank you. I thank you, Director Walters. That is not nothing. It is exactly what we set out to build. Which brings me to today's announcement. Today, I am launching the Governor's Community Partnership Council on Corrections. This council, led by Director Walters and Secretary Metter, will create a permanent structured forum for dialogue and action on the issues that matter most: conditions of confinement, reentry and reintegration, family engagement, staffing, and public accountability. In the coming days, we will begin inviting a diverse group of stakeholders to participate in this council: community organizations, faith-based groups, healthcare providers, educators, public safety professionals, formerly incarcerated individuals, and others with a relevant and important voice to share. Forming this group is exactly what will ensure that these reforms that we've undertaken so far take root for Virginia long after I am no longer in office. It becomes an integral part of how Virginia correctional systems operate with our community, not apart from it. These reforms that we've made so far and the creation of this partnership council, they are focused on the idea that when we lead with accountability, transparency, and professionalism, we create safer facilities, stronger communities, and ultimately better outcomes. And so I want to say something personal before I close. When I look at what Director Walters, Secretary Metter, and the team in this room and across Virginia who have been implementing these changes, these reforms, when I look at what you all have accomplished in just 5 months, the lives that are safer, the families that are being heard, the practices that have changed, they are frankly among the reforms, the changes, and the progress that I am most proud of during my time as governor so far, because it exemplifies the notion that if you see a problem, it is your obligation to fix it. And that is what we are doing. We are identifying things within DOC that's just not working, and we're fixing them. And that's what this administration is all about. I believe that's what public service is all about. And I am proud of the progress that we have all made in a short amount of time. And with the announcement of our Governor's Community Partnership Council on Corrections, I'm excited about what lies ahead. Again, to the employees in the room and across the Commonwealth, thank you. Your commitment, integrity, and hard work are driving this transformation. And because of you, we are building a safer system, a stronger agency, and a better future for the people that we serve. And these reforms happened because of you. The reduction in serious assaults, the drop in overdoses, the decrease in the use of force, those numbers, they are because of the work that you are doing. And so I'm grateful for your service to our Commonwealth. I thank you again. And with that, I am happy to open it up to questions.